and welcome to episode 100 of Movies and Us. I'm TJ,
I'm Marcus.
and this is a reaction that reviews genre movies from the beginning, sometimes. We made it to 100 episodes, Marcus.
That's a factual statement, TJ.
You're not even paying attention.
I am. I was like, I was trying to think of something witty to say. I was like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Yay, 100. Woo, yeah. Woo. 100 weeks minimum of this, TJ.
Yeah, Marcus is like...
That's a lot of time doing this. Is two years, some change, TJ.
Yes. That's a real good way to get people into your own show by just showing how much disdain you have for it.
Hold on. Hold on. Whoa! 100 episodes. That's 2 years and some change. We count our off seasons and hiatus weeks and stuff. Like 2 years of our lovely listeners with us, TJ. How amazing is that? That's a phenomenon, honestly.
Now you got customer service Marcus here. disingenuous customer service Marcus.
Listen, I just woke up from a nap, so I'm kind of grumpy. Okay.
Anyway,
2 years. I was thinking about this last night, like 2 fucking years of this, TJ.
Yeah.
Not counting. We started this a while back, and then I just edited it a year into it, probably, give or take. So
yes. Yeah. A lot of conversations, Marcus, about movies.
These people had better be happy that we're doing this for them, not for them, but
okay. They're ecstatic, let me tell you. Anyway,
grateful sons of bitches. Yeah. Okay. What's up? Anyways. So what are we doing this for this 100th episode?
Well, we're not for a 100th episode. It's a milestone, so we're gonna do something a little different, something movie related, obviously. But we really didn't know what to cover for our 100th episode going into it. We threw a couple ideas around, and we could have done a classic, or technically this is a classic. But
this is definitely a classic.
Like something like Casablanca, though, or something like that, or something weird out there. We threw around Avatar for a little bit.
Yeah.
But since we've never really talked about this genre or this movie in general, we decided to go with this one. So we're covering A Fistful of Dollars today.
Yeah. Fistful of Dollars. I didn't know how to do a sound effect for this.
Yeah, well, that doesn't surprise me. So, yeah, it's a classic, and we wanted to do something different for the 100th episode because there's 1,000 superhero movies, and we kind of covered anything that would be really fit for a 100th episode, so...
we could have done another Nick Cage movie.
Not superhero-wise, though.
Wait, what?
We've been covering superheroes, and there's no real superhero movies we could have covered that we haven't already covered for a 100th episode.
Kick-Ass. That's a superhero movie. He's in that.
Yeah, but that's not really like a milestone movie, you know what I mean? Like, wow. It's a superhero movie, but it's not like, hey, this is something, that deserves to be in that spot, if you get what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Anyway, this movie was directed by Sergio Leone. It was produced by... There's a lot of Italian names in this, so...
Yeah, good luck with that, TJ.
Argo Colombo and Gigerio Poppy. It stars Clint Eastwood, Marianne Koch, Gianna Maria Volante, W. Lakshmi, Sigart Roop, Joe Edgar, Antonio Prieto, Pepe Calvo, Margarita Lozano, Daniel Martin, Benny Reeves, Richard Stuyvesant, Bruno Carotenuto, Aldo Sombrelli. That's the main cast.
The names you got through easily were the basic, simple. Yeah. I like that.
And
then
they say
Clint Eastwood? Daniel Martin. Sorry, I continue. I'm sorry.
And it also starred Antonio Moreno. The worst actor in this was Nino Del Arco.
Who's Nino Del Arco?
The little brat.
I love that kid, man.
Enrique Santiago, Umberto Spadaro, Fernando Sanchez, Pollock, Jose Rizuko, and then it also starred Louis Barbaro, Frank Brana, Antonio Molino Rojo, Lorenzo Robledo, and William R. Tompkins, and then finally Jose Canlajas, Alvaro de Luna, Nazareno, Natale, and Antonio Pica. I butchered a few of those, but
You did better than I could have, so I'm proud of you.
I got through most of it. This movie is weird because it was initially released in Italy, September 12th, 1964. Then in March 5th, 1965 in West Germany, because that's back when the Berlin Wall was still up.
God, that's weird.
And then in September 27th, 1965 in Spain. It doesn't have an American release date, but we'll get to that in the behind the scenes. The movie had a budget between $200,000 and $225,000, which leads us to
the box office, guys. That's right. The box office. I said 19 because it was like TJ said, it was released multiple years throughout the world. The official box office for this movie is 1967, but I want to jump to 1964 because that's when it first came out, and it's not placed on the box office. Let's see what it had up against if it were. At number one that year, I don't know if this is adjusted for inflation or not, but this movie at number one in 1964 made $102.2 million. That's a lot. Can you guess what it is, TJ? It's a kids movie. It's a Walt Disney kids movie musical from 1964.
A Disney's kids movie in 1964.
Yes, this one's a live action. It's in second place is an animated Disney. Oh, that's not Disney, but another one. Actually, no, I lied. I read the second one wrong.
So the first one's live action.
Live action. Oh,
mixed with animation.
Yes.
All right. So
yes,
I got two in my head. I'm gonna guess Mary Poppins.
That is correct.
All right.
Mary Poppins made $102 million in 1964. What was the other one in your head?
Song of the South.
Anyways, no.
Because I think they released it around the same time. That's why I leaned to Mary Poppins. I don't think Song of the South was anywhere near the top of the box office.
I mean, it's Disney, right? I don't see why it wouldn't be.
I think they're around the same time period, but I was pretty sure it's Mary Poppins.
Yes. I'm looking for Song of the South on this list, TJ.
Yeah, I don't know what year it is, honestly.
Neither do I. And I'm not going to look that far because I don't care about races.
And the second one was an animated?
No, one? I thought it said Lady in the Tramp because I read it quickly. It's a musical. It's called My Fair Lady.
Oh.
That made $72 million.
I know that.
Yeah. At number 3 is a James Bond movie.
Let's see, what was it? 1964?
Yeah.
Dr. No.
No.
Then it's the next one. What is it? The f***ing one. It's based on the racist book one.
Probably. It's got a digit of the body. It's a color. Goldfinger.
Is it Goldfinger? I didn't think it was Goldfinger.
Goldfinger came out December 22nd, 1964, and it grossed $51 million.
Really? Goldfinger?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. At number 5, I'm skipping 4. Number 4 is the Carpet Baggers.
Well, I'm just gonna go. I'm curious because Dr. No was the first James Bond movie, so that must have been releasing them yearly.
Well, because also on April 4th, 1964,
with Russia from Love.
From Russia with Love, they 24.8 million.
Well, because I know that's the second movie.
Yeah.
With Goldfinger was third. With From Russia with Love is number 2, and Dr. No was number 1.
In 1963, Dr. No placed number 7.
Okay.
With 16
points. Yeah, they released 3 movies in a quick time span, man.
It was popular. It had a lot of source material that said, screw it, let's do it.
Yeah. It's because in at least movie chronologically, it's Dr. No with Russia from Love and Goldfinger.
Yeah.
And then I think it was, I think there was 1 or 2 more with Sean Connery, but I can't remember.
Well, I'm going to 64 because this movie was also 64, right? Or 65, I'm sorry, right? 65?
What? This one?
Yeah, so it was 64, 65, 67?
Yes.
Okay, well, number 65 right now. So number 1 in 1965 is a very popular musical. It's made $163.2 million. It's The Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music, okay.
And number 2 is Dr. Zhivago.
I don't know what that one is.
I've heard of it, never saw it. It's a drama, made $111.7 million. And number 3 is another James Bond, Thunderball.
Thunderball, right. Because that's the 4th one.
Yes, made $16.6 million.
Because Thunderball was the 4th one. And then the next one after that was Her Majesty's Secret Service with George Lazenby. And then the 6th one was Sean Connery again. And then before they switched over to Roger Moore.
I suppose you didn't pick one of these for our 100th.
These are, like I said, these would have to be their own separate things.
True.
But It's because it's funny because that's the movie order. Like the first James Bond book's actually Casino Royale, which didn't release until like 2012 or something.
No, because they made one. They made like 2 or 3 of them, I think.
Well,
the popular one's Daniel Craig one. Then there's like one that had
the
multiple directors do it.
yeah, there's one in the 50s and stuff, but there isn't a major movie release Casino Royale.
Yeah. Okay.
I know a lot about James Bond.
We see that. We see that. We're going back now to 1967, where this movie is officially on a list I'm looking at. This was a 19.9 total.
Yes.
On this list, as the year came out, it only made 3.5 million in 1967. So placed at 33, which isn't bad.
Okay.
Huh. A Few Dollars More also came out that year, too.
Did it?
And the good and the bad and ugly. So America had all 3. No wonder the movies did well, because they had all 3, I guess, at one time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that stuff in a minute. But do you want to give, like, a top 5
so,
or something?
A Fistful of Dollars came out January 18th. 1967 made $3.5 million. But the top 5 for that year, let's do number 5 through 1. At number 5 was Bonnie and Clyde. It made $50.7 million.
I might have seen that movie, actually.
You old man, you. I mean, I knew who they are, but I never seen a movie of them or any material.
I mean, they're you know what Bonnie and Clyde is, though.
Yeah.
It's an okay movie.
Yeah, it's a story I don't care about. Cool, it's real, but I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I see white people. At number 4, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Made $56.7 million.
I don't know what that is.
I feel it's a very popular movie I should have watched by now. That's what that is.
I mean, if it's not that popular, if I haven't seen it.
Wow. At number 3, the top 3 are movies you know. Can you never guess what number 3 is? It's Adjusted for Deflation. It is the most popular movie in movie history. Adjusted for Inflation.
1967.
It's long. People say it's like AFC's AFC. The best, like, number 1, number 2 best movies of all time. I think it's based off a book, if I recall correctly.
No idea.
The drama. This year it made $64.2 million. Adjusted for Inflation, Gone with the Wind. It's the most popular movie.
Oh, I never got through that book.
I never will ever see. I'm not going to ever see it. But
I got like halfway through that book. And,
you got tired of it.
It's just so boring.
Yep, and that's most reviews of it. Like, it's a popular movie, but it doesn't hold up. At number 2 is a Disney musical, because they're always dominating the box office forever. TJ.
Wait, 1967 Disney musical, live action or animated?
Animated. It made $98.3 million.
1967. That was in their animal phase.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is a main character who's a human, but yes, there are animals in this.
A main character that's human?
Uh-huh.
Oh. That changes things. That's not what I thought it was. I don't know. Not this one.
It's The Jungle Book.
Oh, Jungle Book. I forgot Jungle Book.
Yes. And at number 1.
I was leaning towards either what was the last one you said it was, Lady and Tramp, or Aristocats.
I don't think Aristocats ever made that much.
No, I don't think. Yeah. But you never know. Adjusted for inflation and stuff like that.
No, that's true. That's true.
And like in 1967, who knows what was popular and what wasn't
exactly. Well, at number 1, it's a movie I don't care for. Made $104.3 million. That's a lot of money. It's a movie called The Graduate. Are you trying?
You know, I've heard that. I heard of that movie a lot. I don't think I've ever seen it though.
We've talked about it before. You have not seen it. It is very popular.
Okay.
I don't like movies with the same. I've said it before. It has one artist as their doing the soundtrack for it. Forget who they are. It's like, it just gets old to me. And the story it's solid.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is the box office. Back to you, TJ.
So there's a couple of things to talk about behind the scenes. First of all, if you notice during the credits, I didn't name a writer.
Why is that?
Because it wasn't on the list. Where normally what a writer is, it says Italian, and it gives me the Italian name for Fistful of Dollars.
Really?
And that's because I don't think they know who actually wrote it, because so many people have claimed to write it.
Oh, yeah, I was reading that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's like 3 different guys who said they wrote it, so who knows back in that day, there wasn't like records of that crap and stuff, so...
Sadly, no.
So, yeah, so apparently there's up to debate who actually wrote it. another thing about this movie is that critics seem to hate it.
Yeah.
Like all the Italian critics really hate it, but they didn't really focus. They always from all the reviews said it looks awful, has a dead soundtrack, and is devoid of human feeling. So they always like knock the production value essentially without taking into account of anything else. So, but they were entirely proved wrong because this was the best-selling Italian movie ever in Italian at that point.
Which I think is hilarious. But critics lose you wrong. It's because it's critics.
So yeah, I mean,
no, I had nothing to say.
But yeah, so like it made like 1.2 billion lira, which is Italian currency, which at the time was the highest selling movie in Italy ever up to that point. But then again, I don't know how many movies actually released in Italy at that point, because anyone who knows anything about movie history knows that movies are an American industry. You know what I mean?
No, it's true, but also I'm trying. I don't want to confuse them with the French, obviously, and like talk ill of Italy and Italian filmmakers. I haven't really dived deep into it in this era. But French were renovationary, reinventing a lot of things in the filmscape around this time. So, and they're really artsy fartsy and high-end kind of shit like that. And so I would assume Italian people have taken inspiration for that. That's why they probably shit all over this movie, because this movie isn't as artsy as we like and tend to lean towards. This is all speculation, of course. So, so with it being as popular and people actually have other tastes besides artsy-fartsy stuff.
My point wasn't that. My point is based on why it sold so more as the highest grossing Italian movie, essentially. It's because I don't know how many actually movies released in Italy, because all movies released in America up until a certain point, and worldwide releases were not a really big thing for a long time, you know what I mean? I mean, sure, they get over there eventually, but they're not like worldwide box office releases like that we have today.
No, yeah, worldwide, when you go to Box Office Mojo, they started keeping track of worldwide releases in 1977. So this is 10 years prior to that for an American release. So it's like, yeah.
So, I mean, you got to consider in the countries before, like, film industry really started to take off everywhere. Everywhere else, except for, where the foundation of movies are probably a decade or two behind.
Behind us?
Well, not just us. Anybody who was like in the film industry, like you said, French was big at the time, so I'm assuming France was big. But like Italians and stuff like that probably didn't were as far as technology and stuff, were a little bit behind.
That's all perspective, I guess, because like they said in like when you read about this, is like this is pretty much a fan film of another movie which was made in Japan. So it's like, and they had a big influence the Japanese did. So it's like I don't think the Italians were behind. Just think it was just different.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying like behind is in, maybe not technologically, just like as far as his movies and taste have come, essentially.
Taste, okay, that's fair. I can say that.
You know what I mean? Because I just don't think at that time they got as much diversity in films.
I mean, did America have much diversity in films in 1967, TJ?
Yeah, but my point is we had the most movies. So if we have the most movies and we're not that diversified, imagine a country that has less movies, even within that diversification.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that.
And then the last big thing I wanted to talk about is what you just brought up, is this was based on a movie by Akira Kurosawa, a movie named Yojimbo.
Jimbo!
Did you see it?
It's on my list. Like most movies. It's on my list. I think most of his movies are on my list. Sadly.
I've never seen it either. And I didn't even know about all this controversy behind this. So I was like, oh, that's interesting.
He's one of those directors who's very influential. And sad to say, a lot of his stuff has been like Seven Samurai, Throne of Blood, High and like most of his movies have been referenced, and their plots have been kind of ripped off / stolen from other directors. So if you see a movie and like if you see one of his movies, you're like, oh, that's what inspired a lot of these movies and tropes and such. He did in his storytelling.
Right. I mean, that's because he was in Japan.
Exactly. And of course, filmmakers back then who would see this shit were studio film kids.
Yes.
So like, oh, this is really good. Let's adapt this and make it different in our way. So
yes.
And those got adapted and they got adapted. Sorry.
But to be fair, though, I mean, the story is a classic and stuff. I don't know if I would like it in samurai form.
Well, you don't like the samurai stuff.
Yeah, that's my whole point.
Yeah. And that's I'm not saying adapting his stuff is a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what happens, and like. Again, I wanted to always show you Seven Samurai and like that, but it's like he's not gonna like a Cousin of Samurai stuff. But I think he'll have appreciation for like that's where a lot of these tropes come
I just
from.
don't like the samurai philosophy. They're all about honor and stuff. And if you're dishonored and you have to kill yourself, that's stupid.
I mean, it's more than that, I would assume.
No, it's essentially that.
I assume it's more to the samurai's philosophy than saying something like that, TJ.
It's essentially what it comes down to. You have to live by a strict code. If you go disobey that code, you're either disgraced and cast out, or you have to kill yourself.
See, not like the way you're saying it sounds like an ignorant American describing samurai culture. I don't know enough about samurai culture to defend
I know enough about samurai culture. I watch a lot of anime.
Oh my god, that's very offensive. Oh my god.
No, but I do know a lot about samurai culture other than anime. I'm just saying.
I would have said I have such a strong
every
stance on
samurai thing that I've seen about it is just.
Have you read things about samurai culture?
Yeah.
Okay. No, but it's not just Hollywood stuff you've seen. Like, I hate samurai stuff. Okay. I hope you've actually read historical samurai shit.
I know about historical, like the different eras and the different wars and the different all the different garbage things that they throw you.
Stop it.
I'm sorry. I don't like it.
Stop it.
Like, what's the big one that's always gets adapted? In summer, like Romance of the Kingdoms or something, or is that that might be Chinese? That might, whatever. They're just as bad.
Wow. God, Jesus, TJ, tread lightly, man.
No, it's.
I'm not trying to have the certain political group like, yeah, he's right. I don't want them on your side now. They're my audience.
I just don't find the culture appealing. I think it's stupid. That is
a fair viewpoint for you. Yes,
like especially when they can't accept that times are moving on. How many stories do you see about samurais coming up and they're switching over to guns and stuff, and they still insist on using their swords to fight a machine gun, and then they get slaughtered?
I mean,
how many times? It's stupid. Their codes are stupid.
That or just the storytelling's bad.
And not just samurai codes, just codes in general like that, of codes of honor that don't leave any interpretation for any gray areas, and you have to follow that code, like religion, for instance.
Continue digging your hole.
So, just...
I'll sit here and listen.
All those codes of honor and, facts of faith and belief that based on nothing but fear or outdated ideas are just garbage.
I respect your viewpoint, TJ.
I don't care if you do or not. It's my opinion.
Yeah. Whatever. So I pretty much everything you're saying I probably agree with.
Anyway, all that long-winded talk is to say that Kurosawa sued the
Yes, because this was an unofficial. They didn't have the blessing from the studio nor him to properly do this kind of remake of his movie.
Right, so they sued him. I don't know if they would have lost this suit, though.
If it would have. I didn't read that part. Who won, who lost?
They settled out of court.
Okay.
Leona initially ignored the lawsuit.
Of course. It's such a good thing to do.
And then he settled out of court reportedly for 15% of the worldwide receipts of Fistful dollars, which ended up being over $100,000.
That's not bad.
Yeah, so
well, you think?
I don't know if, because here's the thing: the story. Maybe if the story and the if they stole the story wholeheartedly, the characters and all. But the thing is, you can't copyright or trademark an idea.
I don't know what the rules were back in 1960s.
Well, then that's even more in the 60s because copyright and trademark law back then were even looser.
Well, is that American stuff, or is that like remember, this is all foreign.
That's true too. But
I know Toho is very particular with Godzilla and shit like that. And,
it's not like Leone filmed this movie in Japan. He filmed it in Italian. If he's getting sued by Japan, he's like, I just won't go to Japan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know enough about the laws of that era and locations.
Each country has different copyright laws and stuff. But in China, they don't allow a lot of video games and stuff in China from America because of their cultural sensitivities and stuff like that. So what they do is they downright just steal a game and pretty much copy it and change like the characters and stuff and make a clone of it.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? That's that's in China. We're America. You can't really do anything about it.
True.
So that's what I mean. And this is not like they're in the same country suing over the same copyright laws and stuff like that. And like I said, you can't copyright an idea, because if you copyright an idea, then no one will ever be able to make anything.
That's also factual. I guess this movie was very close to.
Yeah, like I said, I've never seen Yojimbo.
No, exactly.
I'm assuming though that all the characters were changed.
Probably. I would assume so, but again, like.
But like, unless Yojimbo is exactly structured exactly like this was, like beginning to end,
Which I doubt.
like to the point where it's like a shot for shot, or even not even doesn't need to be shot for shot, but like enough of it that you can't distinguish the two movies apart, other than guns and swords.
Yeah.
Then you can say that you're just stealing my copyright work. But even then, though, he's in Italy, he's in Italy, he's in Japan. So, it all depends.
Yes. Maybe he didn't want to bother with it. Maybe he didn't want more negative press.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's
multiple reasons
possible.
why. Yeah.
Or, I mean, it's obviously he liked his movies. Maybe it was just like, maybe I'm being a dick about this.
Yeah. Well, even Akira said he's like, this is a fine movie. It's not mine, but it's a fine movie. But it was a studio.
No, what he said is, Leone made a fine movie, but it's my movie.
Okay, yeah.
So,
and that's fair. I can see why a director or anyone would be like, this is my art, especially when it comes to art. Like, this is my art. I at least want some credit for this thing.
Right.
So I understand. But yeah. Anything else we'll talk about?
And just I'm not defending Leone in any way in this. I'm just telling you what the facts of the law are.
Of the America Law 2020 something, yes.
Yeah, like how copyright laws into this. I don't approve of people stealing work.
How do you feel about AI? So people are up in arms about that. Like, there's both sides. Like, it's fine.
Let me rephrase. I don't always... Like, there's some people that deserve to get stolen from.
Wow.
Like Nintendo.
Wow. Okay, you dig your hole again, Tina. Okay, what's your whole digging rant here?
Nintendo closes all of their storefronts. Mm-hmm. There are some games that are only digital... They'd be able to buy digitally.
Yes.
There is no physical way to buy that digital game anymore. Yes. You're not giving a person any way to play that game anymore. You're not selling it in a way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? You're going to steal it, because what else are you going to leave them do?
Or not
Screw you. It. No. The game has been released already. Wow. The game has already been released.
It was like you said, well, if you were alive at the time, you could have just gotten it. You could have gotten it.
Yeah, what happens if you were it?
Well, sucks to suck.
Yeah, no. The game should be able... That's what preservation's for. That's why these things should be all preserved. This is why things like that. There's some companies that deserve to be stolen from. And another reason why some companies deserve to be stolen from? Because they don't pay any freaking taxes. You're paying them with your taxes.
So TJ's viewpoint is that it's okay to steal sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes it's okay to pirate something.
Are you okay today, TJ? You seem like you're on some kind of mood today.
No, I'm just angry today. Everything just pisses me off today.
Anyways, we're talking about spaghetti westerns over here.
What, you don't want to do any more preamble?
Is another preamble? Oh, this movie, a lot of dialogue on set was hard because all of them spoke different languages. So this movie sound looks like it has ADR because it is ADR. It is, there was not recorded audio when they made this movie. It was just very rare for a talkie movie. They had to record all the voiceovers afterwards, which is fascinating to me. But I think it helps give this movie more of a character than this movie already has.
Like, I've seen a lot of the reviews of this movie saying, no, they didn't focus on the satirical, content and this stuff like that. And I never took it as satirical.
No.
Did you?
I always thought it was like a love letter. Like, this is like a foreign love letter to, like I said, Yojimbo. And like Kiri Hisaka's work and American westerns, like, oh, they just like cinema and stuff, so like they're just making their own. I never once saw this as satirical. Maybe clever and witty for how the characters act, but never satirical.
Yeah. Satirical humor and groundbreaking style.
It's groundbreaking style, sure. Well, like, okay, what's the definition of satirical though? Like, are we misinterpreting that? Are there multiple definitions for satirical that we don't know about?
Satirical humor would be...
It's just satire, right?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's just satire.
Yeah, so this isn't satire at all, right? Unless I'm missing something.
I guess it's because they think it's goofy. You know what I mean?
Is it though?
I didn't see it. That's why I'm bringing it up.
No. It's just like I said, it's a love letter of a film.
Like if it seemed like a spaghetti western to me, and people were like, "This is like this is not what your typical. It's a satire. The humor was satirical. It's like, where is this? Where is this?
I guess maybe it's just in the style it's made. Like, I guess, well, at that point, because it's so on the nose and inspired by other films. I guess at that point you call Tarantino's film satirical because it's so on the nose, inspired by shit. I don't know. Where's my phone at?
Now that you bring up there is something else that I did want to bring up behind the scenes. Where is it?
Continue. Satirical, containing or using satire. Yeah, okay, that's the only definition I can see. So yeah, I don't know how this could be confused for satire.
And it said humor. This movie isn't like, I didn't find it funny.
No, I mean, there's things in it that the character, like Clint Eastwood was saying to do, but it's not like...
Isn't that in, like, every Western, though?
No, some Westerns take themselves way too fucking seriously.
Well, I mean,
most
the dramatic
take themselves too seriously.
But, like, a basics Western would have this kind of humor in it.
Yeah. Again, maybe it could be an Italian thing. Maybe, like, Italy back then, where their movies were more just somber and shit like that.
Alright, so anyway... There was apparently the movie obviously had a small budget, so they couldn't afford like a major actor, but they had considered other actors. There's like a list of other actors they wanted before they settled on Eastwood.
Yes.
Including Henry Fonda, Charles Bronson, Henry Silva, Rory Calhoun, Tony Russell, Steve Reeves, Ty Hardin, and James Coburn. So that's a who's who.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, wow.
Of actors they considered this. But they couldn't afford a lot of them, and so they went to Eastwood. But George, where is it? Harrison. And then it was also Richard Harrison was also was offered the role, but turned it down. And he later stated his greatest contribution to cinema was not doing a fistful of dollars. And recommending Clint Eastwood for the part.
Okay, speaking of Clint Eastwood, I'm glad. I forgot how good he is, and he's got like the almost Christopher Reeves, Christopher Reeves kind of vibes, and like commanding the screen in this movie and the presence, and yeah.
I guess with that, we ready to dive in?
Yeah, closing all my tabs I don't need, and there's only one tab left, so let's do this, TJ.
I do own DVD of this.
Were there trailers for this?
There was no trailers.
Thank Christ. I mean, oh, no. But were there any pamphlets? And, what, is the DVD or is it like the box set?
No, it's a DVD, separate on its own DVD.
Wait, what?
It's a separate on its own DVD.
So do you have 3 DVDs?
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, and, like, it's got the classic pamphlet in it that tells me, like, the different numbers of the scenes and stuff.
Yeah, the scene breakdown, chapter breakdown. Yes. I missed that.
And, like, it's got a cast list and stuff, but that's it.
Simple.
I mean, it was also one of those... double discs.
Yeah.
One side is full screen, one side's widescrreen. Yeah.
What'd you watch it on?
Full screen.
Oh, that hurts my heart. I knew you were going to say it, but that hurts my heart. There's very few things that have strong stances on, and I want to add that to my list. There's like 2 things that have strong stances on, and that's one superfluous thing I can add to my stance of shit.
What, widescreen?
Yes. Watch it on widescreen. Because full screen, you're just losing video. This is like, it's just bastardizing your viewing experience. Like, what the It's like watching a thing that's meant for a big screen to be on when you're watching it on your phone. It's like, so this is why I don't have, wow, I'm a purist when it comes to this shit. Wow, I didn't know this. I mean, I've always liked this stuff. But like, that's why I don't have like Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu on my phone, because I don't want to watch stuff like that on my phone. The smallest I'll do is my laptop, but even that's too small for me to watch stuff on. It's like, it's supposed to be an experience, supposed to enjoy it, supposed to like dive into it.
Some people can get an experiences much easier than you do, apparently.
No, you're still like, no, you're not.
I had no problem.
Because you're not really enjoying it.
How am I really not enjoying it?
I know you're enjoying it, but who am I to tell you how to enjoy it? I get it.
Honestly, the widescreen is more distracting to me with those stupid 2 bars on the top of it.
Oh, my heart. Oh, TJ, my heart. My son.
Those 2 bars always distract the hell out of me.
You're killing me. Like, I feel like a fruit critic who's telling you how to properly eat a sandwich. It doesn't matter. Do what you want. But it's like, man.
Like, yeah, no, that is... No thanks, I'm good.
I'm also the same guy who's like, I don't have to watch shit in 4K. You can watch it in 1080 for all I care, but just watch it in the right dimensions, man.
I can watch things in 480p. I'm fine.
That's fine. Just watch it in the right dimension. That's all I ask for.
I can't. Yes. Because I don't need to see the very edge of the screen of what's happening over here. I don't need to see that guy in the background doing nothing. Yes, you do.
If they painted the picture for you to view, and they want you to view the whole thing. Don't crop out the edges.
I don't need to see that stuff. If I needed to see that stuff, it'd be front and center.
Stop it. Stop it.
It's not important to the story.
Oh, man. But it's a visual storytelling medium. They want you to. They did it for a reason.
Did they know?
Yes, 9 times out. Almost 8 times out of 10. Yes, 7 times maybe out of 10. 8 times out of 10. That hurts. That hurts, TJ. So you watch it full screen.
Yeah, of course I watch it full screen.
Oh, that's
to
gross.
be fair though.
That's disgusting.
To be fair though, I couldn't tell. I can never figure out when it's those double disc which side switch.
It says it right in the middle circle.
Yeah, I know it says it, but do I put it in downside?
Face up.
Or face up side, and what does that mean? If it's on this side, does that mean the downside is the opposite side that reads, or is it the opposite side?
Oh, so you overthink it. Okay.
So I'm like, I don't ever know which side switch, so I just put it in, and whatever side happened to be in there is the one I'm watching.
Wow, you are a complicated man. I've always worked for me to put it face up. Like it's like that side's the side that would have like the picture on it, so you put that side face up, so it's reading the other side. Because that makes sense to me.
Oh, okay.
But the end of I know now. I never overthought it like that. Like I get where you're coming from. But watch it on widescreen for now on TJ.
And now it's what's even worse is I play it on my PlayStation 5. Well, the PlayStation 5 is vertical, not horizontal.
Yeah.
And it's the only like DVD Blu-ray player thing that I've ever come across where the disc has to be put in the opposite direction in order to read.
Why?
It's like because I guess it's the only way they can fit the disc drive into the system itself.
Sounds pretty flawed to me.
So the normal way you would put in a disc in any other thing, no, it's the reverse side you put it in to get it in there for it to read. So now you got 2 more layers with the vertical and then the opposite put inside of it. So now I'm double confused.
That sounds overly complicated.
So it's like whatever side it is whatever side it is.
Okay, that's fair. That just sounds overly that sounds like a flaw on PlayStation's Sony's part. Like, come on, guys, why do that?
It is what it is. But like I'm not against watching in widescreen. I'll get used to it after a while. It's just I don't care.
You have no idea how much that hurts me. I forgot how much I cared about this kind of shit, TJ. Like,
yeah, apparently you cared about it more than you even thought because.
No. God,
because I could give a rat's ass,
and that's God, that makes me so sad because I know a lot of people are like that. And that's why the theater industry like isn't dying, but it's like always on the decline because more people don't give a about being in public with other people and dealing with that shit. And it's just like I'll watch it on my phone. It's like I get the sentiment, I get it, but it's like the theater is an experience. Go enjoy it. It's nice. It's beautiful. And people
I hate the theater.
I know, and it hurts me to hear that because a lot of people. I've always wanted to own a theater because I love them so much, but it's like it's not a viable thing to buy because it's gonna die soon. It's like this hurts.
Like I don't understand why you want to sit in a room with a bunch of strangers watching a movie. It just never made sense to me.
It's a communal viewing. It's fun, but I think also I was more pro it before. I was not old before cell phones became a thing because now people are just so ignorant. They have the phones and just the. I don't mind. Well, we're doing this thing. We're doing tangents today, huh, TJ?
It's our 100th episode.
I guess, yeah. Like, I don't mind texting in the theater. Go for it. Don't talk on the phone. Just don't be an asshole. If you're gonna text in the theater, turn your brightness down.
Like, I'm not gonna.
Please.
Like I agree with you with that. I turn my phone off when I go.
Yeah, but if you really need a text, brightness low, not bright so the people in the back can see it. Because then I'm gonna throw popcorn on you or dip your phone in a goddamn soda and make a scene. Because that's just so ignorant.
I do understand, it can be an experience when people are cheering at the big moments and like gasping at the certain moments. I get that experience that can be a thing that enhances it, but being around that many people is just no thanks.
No, and see now what's sad about this? As much as I strongly agree with my stance of like go to the theater, I 100% agree with you. Like I have not gone to the theater, TJ, since probably Endgame, or that's been how many years for us now? Because just people suck. It's like when I do go to a movie theater, I'll wait until it's an off day. Yes,
and like reserve seats that's away from everybody else, just so I don't have to. Yeah, that's like if I'm in a movie theater by myself.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah,
I'll be there all day.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be there with a bunch of other people.
No.
I'm sorry, I don't like it.
Like, I'll bring my friends and family for sure, but like the strangers, because again, they're just unknown variables who ruin the experience. It's like, I don't know. But I still want to go to the theater more often than I do. But
I don't know. It's a lot of work to go to a movie theater now.
you think so?
Yeah, because you got to buy the tickets. You got to, sit through the freaking, depending on what time you get there, sit through the showers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then you're sitting there for 3 hours dealing with everybody because no movie's under 3 hours these days.
That too, yeah. I think they mainline the ticket buying part, so the ticket buying part doesn't bother me. But concession stands along, trying to navigate, especially if you go opening night, which I'll never do again because that's f***ing terrible. But navigating through people to get to your seat. Hopefully they don't take your seat, especially when you prepay for a seat.
And then when you're done, yeah, and then you have to count the seats because it's not ever labeled properly.
No.
It's like.
I know we're pointing out a lot of negatives. I'm still saying go to the theater, guys.
And then when the movie's done, half your day's gone and it's nighttime outside.
Yes,
It's like.
yes. But I'd like that. I like going into the theater when it's day out and leaving when it's night out. Like, that was something, wasn't it? Especially if the movie was worth it. If the movie wasn't worth it, like, man, that was some bullshit. But then you have to sit in a seat and pray to God there's like nothing nasty that's going on because I'm a germaphobe. Like, Marcus, just don't think about it. Sit down and just enjoy the movie. Eat your food.
Who knows who's within that seat
Yes.
and what they're.
Some savage was in there before you did. They don't wipe the seats down. They don't have time to do that.
No.
Yeah. But ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to own a theater. Like, if I ever won a lottery, I would easily make my own theater for the public to go to. But it's not a viable thing to have because
I mean, why don't you just buy a theater for yourself?
like when I see people with home theaters in their homes, so like that's a waste of space.
No, like if you had the money, just buy a actual movie theater for yourself.
Again, I feel like it's a waste of money because I feel it's got to make. It doesn't have to make a huge profit, but it's got to make something so I keep it standing. And I feel it's a lot of money to have a theater. Maybe it's not. That's why I look into it.
I don't know. I mean, probably because of like it's still another building and like electric and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But technically, all you really need is a giant screen and a movie projector, and you have a movie film theater.
I have a projector and a screen in my backyard for those specific reasons. I will watch a movie out back because I don't like going to the public.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
you just need 4 walls, and you have your own movie theater.
I know. It's just going to the theater is great. It can be great. It's just the people suck sometimes.
It's also different nowadays.
Yes.
Like going to the movies, like there's just so much things trying to buy up your time these days. Whereas back when we were kids, and we were kids at different points in time, but both generations of when we were both kids, going to the movies was an event, because there was nothing else to do.
And that's exactly. Like now we're so oversaturated with content where it's movies or shows or whatever. Like if you miss a movie, not a big deal because it's going to be it could be available to watch on screen.
Yeah, it'll be you'll have it in 2 months.
Yes.
So it's like,
whereas back then, like either you saw it or you didn't. You gotta wait. And
or you wait for a VHS if you're
exactly,
lucky.
And pray to God no one spoiled it for you in those few months. Yeah. So like I get you. I'm not disillusioned why the theater is like becoming less of a thing for people. It just hurts to see. It hurts. That's all.
That's why you're the movie guy.
I know. This is why my stance on things have gotten like less extreme because I understand the things I like are dying and
they're pretentious too.
I'm getting old.
Things you like are very pretentious.
Yeah. Hey, you picked the movie, TJ. I feel it's like a very.
I didn't say this movie was pretentious at all.
I feel it's a pretentious pick in a sense of like our viewers are now accustomed to comic book movies and my weird picks, and your picks were alien movies. So they see a spaghetti western like what the f***? This is nothing they would probably expect for our 100th episode.
No, but you know what? This is genre movies sometimes.
I agree. It's why my picks are usually weirdly drama bullshit. Not good movies. But anyways.
And we needed something good to continue the trend of good movies we've been watching.
Yeah, this is good, sure. No, we did. What was the last movie we saw?
Last week was Futures Past, that you bitched about most of the movie, and then ended up giving it an 8.
I remember. Because I'm not disillusioned. It's not a bad movie. It's like there's just things I just weren't driving with. But subjectively, like you say, like, it's a good movie. It fixed a lot of things. And before that was Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll get to the review.
I tried about 15 minutes ago, and then you stopped me.
Yeah, I went to my tangent about movie theaters and shit. We haven't had tangents in a while, I feel,
Yeah, I'll bringing it back for the 100th episode.
huh? I'll tell you this, the movie, I forgot how much of this movie is like just people shooting at each other.
Yeah, well, let's go into it real quick, because I'll tell you exactly what's wrong with this movie.
What's that, DJ?
Right from the opening.
The 5-minute credit scene.
The opening is too freaking long.
I was watching, I was like, oh yeah, old movies. They don't know how to make things short.
Yeah, this movie is really enthralling and really engaging when they're not dragging a scene out for 15 minutes, because when they're dragging a scene out, you feel every minute of this movie.
Yes,
because you get, this movie feels long at points.
I know it's only an hour 39. I went in expecting, okay, easy, but like you just said, like, oh, this scene is going on forever. Why are we doing this? There were some moments in the movie I had to skip like 10 seconds ahead just to hurry that scene up.
Like, there is, like, the movie starts with just it's like a red background and like silhouettes and stuff, and then the music hits, and I love Western, like the cowboy Western soundtracks and stuff. The soundtrack is so good, but like 3.5 minutes in, I'm tuning out, and I'm like, we're still going here. Why is this still going?
I'm so divided, because that's either a testament to how bad our attention spans have become of current media consumption, or like, but it's also my other side of my film snart nerdy. Like, I like when they hold on to shots. I like shit like this, but also,
yeah. But the problem is the opening is nothing but names. Yes. Nothing is happening. So it's just like, okay, this is the music, the soundtrack is cool, but it's like, oh, there's only so much of this. And then another part, I'm going to skip ahead to like towards the end of the movie, where the Rojasers are killing the bakers, and they for 5 minutes, they're just keep people running out of the house, getting shot, getting close up the faces, and they just keep doing it over and over and over again. It's like, oh my god, I get it. They're all murdered. Come on.
Even the first like big murder scene where they like do the whole like reveal and start gunning down people, like, got it, get it. We heard the scene up, so yeah.
So a man with no name, or is his name Joe? I don't know.
They call him Joe in this guy. No, I think in every movie they call him something different.
Well,
does he have an official name? I forget what.
The coffin maker calls him Joe. I know that because the audio is kind of bad, and I couldn't understand some of the words, so I needed subtitles.
That was another question I had for you while we're talking about that. Look, another tangent. So, do you use subtitles or no subtitles usually?
I usually do subtitles, but recently I've been finding them intrusive.
Oh, really? What do you mean by that?
I don't know why. Like, on the screen, it just seems to be taken away from what I'm doing on there for some reason. I don't know, all of a sudden the change, because before I used to have subtitles on no matter what I did.
Yeah.
But for some reason, in the last couple months, sometimes subtitles just bother me, so I haven't been using them.
Huh. Is it has the lettering and the font has changed?
And it's gotta be something to do with the letter in comparison with some of the things that I'm doing. Yeah, because I don't know what it is, but it's just been bothering me. But this movie, I could literally not understand what some of the people were saying.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, subtitles on.
Fascinating, because usually I don't do they don't bother me, subtitles, but I try not to use them because I don't need them. But okay, that's fascinating. But
no, I'll put subtitles on. Just read along as they're talking.
See, I think like if I had them on, I have to read them. I cannot really avoid them.
Yeah, but it's different. Like it doesn't take away from. I'm still watching the movie. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I understand the language.
Yes.
Like, it's different when I have to read a sub of a foreign language. Because then I'm really reading the words.
Oh, so and when you watch an anime, and it's obviously foreign, do you watch it dubbed or subbed?
Oh, we only covered dub.
Oh, ouch. I do sub. You monsters.
No. I will not cover a sub anime because I will not watch the anime. I'll be too busy reading the sub.
So do you focus too much on the words and not on...
Yeah, I focus on too much what they're saying.
Okay.
Because, like, and especially if an anime is got other things going on. Say if someone's speaking in Japanese and so I have to read what they're saying, and then on the top of the screen they're like giving me notes on, say, we're playing like some kind of Japanese game, and they're explaining that. Like, I watched a subbed anime shonen on what's it called? The tile game that they play in Japan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I watched it. It was like a Yu-Gi-Oh world where everyone in the world plays that game, and like there's tournaments and stuff. It was actually really good, but I have no idea how to play that game because I never had a chance to read any of the rules because I had to read all of the dialogue because all the rules are going up over here and the dialogue's down here, and it's like I'm not going back to read the rules. I don't care enough about the rules for me to have to go there. I guess I'll just let them tell me, they won because of that. Okay, I don't know what that is, but okay.
Or sometimes when a show will like have like, it's going to commercial, comes back from a commercial, I'll have like a slide that shows you the rules of something. Like, yeah. And they never give you enough time to read the whole thing. Like, I can't read all that. And
another bad thing about it is when two people are talking at the same time and there's two dialogue subs are going at the same time. I'm like, one's in the background, one's in the foreground. It's like, which one am I supposed to be reading?
Yes. Okay. That's
so
fair.
like that, but like when it's in English, like I'm not really reading the subtitles because I know what they're saying. Like I'll glance down when I don't understand what's happening.
See, I'm different, and like when it comes to like anime, I can read the subtitles and watch a show at the same time. Be fine. When it comes to English American movies like this, if I was watching this and this is America. Let's say I was watching Star Wars and had subtitles on, I'd be more focused on the subtitles than the movie because A, I already saw the movie, and then B, is just like, I wonder how they interpreted it and write this down in subtitle form. So that's why I usually don't look at it.
No, I use subtitles as a guide for when I can't hear things.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you this, though. Currently, like, I feel like the studios have really been messing with the dialogue and audio thing. It's kind of forced me to use subtitles more. I don't like it because I don't want to use them. I kind of have to because the dialogue is so low while the music is so loud.
Sometimes the mixing and some of the stuff is not good.
It irks me. Like, guys, it's not a hard fix. How did we get here?
It's just one of those episodes.
It really is. You're talking about the dialogue and the guy with no name. The man with no name is Joe, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, at least that's what they say in this movie. At least the coffin maker does.
Yes.
And he's even credited as Clint Eastwood as Joe, the man with no name.
Because in each movie,
which is a contradictory if his name's Joe.
Yeah. Well, I know in each movie's got a different name. Like this one's got Joe, the other one's got Manco, another one's got Blondie. So
yeah,
he does have an official name. I forget what it is.
I don't know. You know what was also interesting about this movie?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even get to the premise, but but I have seen this movie before, but I did not remember the plot at all.
Same.
Like I remembered the overall plot, but I was engaged with the movie because it was like, okay, I don't remember what's going to happen, so what's happening? And I'm usually really good. My memory is usually really good.
Yeah.
And so when certain things come up, but not this one. I was completely it was like watching it for the first time, awesome. Honestly.
When I first saw this, I watched all three of them in like 3 days, like one each day.
I did that too.
Yes. And everything I remember about these trilogies was all in this movie. So apparently I don't remember the second one or third one. I remember the third one's more of a Civil War period. I get that one. But the second one, I don't recall what happens. But I know they get better and better as the movies go on. So I kind of want to see the next one now. But this is really
I was gonna wait and bring this up. Do you want to just cover the other two?
I was going to ask you, like, are we going to do that for episode 200 to 300? But like, that's too far. I don't want to wait that long.
Yeah, well, do you want to just take the next 2 weeks and cover the rest of the series?
We could do it after we're done this year. Because we only have, 2 episodes left this year? I kind of get that out the way. We have Guardians, and then we got 3 more episodes this year.
Yeah.
How about every other week? How about next we do Guardians, then we do this?
That's fair. Yeah, we can do it that way.
Every other week.
Yeah, let's do it every other week, because I do want to watch the other ones. Because this one really got me into it, and I really wanted to, because I didn't remember the movie, and I don't remember the other two either, and I kind of want to...
I remember they get better, in my opinion. At the time, I thought they got better, but who knows? But these are good movies. They're fun movies. They're very them.
Yes. Anyway, so the premise... So we got a man with no name. We're just going to go with that. Comes into a town that is pretty much overrun by 2 gangs. And that's odd, because I guess only one person can be in charge of a city. I don't know. They made a big point of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's 2 opposing gangs, and the man with no name, Clint Eastwood, is playing both sides. That's essentially the premise.
Yeah.
And so going into the first act, and it's just him establishing both sides, playing both sides, so forth and so forth. We're learning about the characters. The Rojas are the actual bad guys, because the Baxters are they kind of suck, honestly. They fail at everything they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the Rojas go to kill them later, they're just wiped out without even a fight. It's like, how are you
right? Like
the opposite gang,
I
and
guess because they were another gang, and I guess the town didn't want to stand up to anybody. So,
but the Rojas could have done that at any time, apparently.
well, I'm guessing like maybe illusion or just they're a gang, so maybe the Rajas didn't like think they were that weak.
If they didn't think that, they killed them with 4 people.
I don't know, DJ. I don't know.
They literally didn't even bring their whole gang.
Oh man.
And the Baxters just like were like their house got blown up and was set on fire, and then 2 by 2 they walked out to get shot. 2 by 2, they didn't like try to shoot through the windows or anything. Some of them didn't even have guns. It's like, what are you doing?
It's a 60s.
You guys suck.
That was another hard thing for me to do while watching this movie. Like, I have it like this, the 60s, Marcus. We've seen a lot of good content since then. So this is the 60s. I remember that.
But actually, I was like in the 60s mindset. So when the what was his name, Ramon, killed the Baxters, the wife of the Baxters, it was like, oh, that's big deal.
Oh yeah, shit like that was a big deal for sure.
See, I was like, dude, he just killed that woman. And that's like in a Western in 1964. That's evil. So
it was just the acting and stuff performances. I had to keep reminding myself, like, it's cheesy, but it's good.
But yeah, so he comes in, he plays both sides. We learned that the Rajas are evil because they've kidnapped a woman, taking them from her family. And yeah, the first act is essentially that, him playing both sides. We learned there's a, I don't know who was meeting.
What?
Like the military.
What do you mean?
There was
the two
military that the Rajas killed.
I think that wasn't Spanish and Americans, but it was.
They were wearing blue and gray, which made me think Union and.
Which I want to say maybe because, like I said, the third one is Civil War. And it's a prequel to this. So maybe we had soldiers. Maybe
it is Civil War. I guess it could be Union and Confederacy meeting.
Where's this take place at? Is it Mexico or is it in Texas and shit like that? Like,
I think it's in Texas because he says that the Mexican army's on one side and the American army's on the other side.
So it could have been something like that. It could have been unions and, or just Mexican. I don't know. We should do research before we watch the review, TJ.
Yeah, well, I didn't think about having to go into that. Anyway, the Rajas kill both sides and steal their gold.
Yes, that.
So, like, there's a bunch of different plots going on, and then the second act is essentially him playing both sides, him, what's the word? Like he's setting up events for happen. Like, he steals 2 of the bodies to trick both sides to come in there, and then one of the guys kidnaps. He accidentally kidnaps the girl.
Yes.
So that he can still play both sides and stuff like that. And it all culminates with the him saving the girl and having her and her family leave town, which he should have just said, go hide for like 2 weeks and then I'll come murder everybody. But anyway, so like she's like a main part of the story, and then she's gone halfway through.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Yeah, so like, okay, she was this big part, but I guess that drives Ramon to go like super crazy because he goes crazy and kills, like we already harped on the Baxter thing.
Sorry, it's a Mexican village of San Miguel on the border of the United States. Sorry.
Okay.
Not important,
but like, so yeah, like he goes crazy after she's gone, and then of course, because this is a movie plot, Clint Eastwood's got to have his like failure moment.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. So he gets caught essentially. He gets tortured, like to the point where he can't walk. I was actually surprised by that.
I always love seeing the main character, essentially the hero, just get beaten down like that.
I mean,
and still trying.
You can't have a hero story without the moment where they fell.
Yes, and to the point where they can't walk. Like I enjoy seeing that because nowadays I feel like it happens, but like the hero can just like bounce back and get hit by a car or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
but the problem I had with it is that the torture scene that they showed didn't really feel like anything. Like, they were stomping on his hand and stuff, and he wasn't really reacting.
Okay. That's
you know what I mean?
That's fair.
So it's kind of like, I guess it doesn't hurt that much, does it?
That's probably a good, 60s.
Yeah, I know. It was probably production value and stuff like that. I get it. It just didn't seem like he was, like, they punched him a few times. They burned him with a cigarette. It's like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, so after that, he hides in a cave. Or
it's like an example of Jesus' resurrection, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Jesus gets beaten at a stake and
and dies.
Yeah, he got beaten to death. I guess we're born coming out of the cave.
No,
second coming.
That's not how that works.
I don't know what the Bible is, TJ. It's like
whatever.
It's like a recipe book, right?
Yes, it's a recipe book. And then he also has a friend in town, that bar owner or something, which you would think. I guess not. Guys have alcohol, so I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. It just seems weird the town structure.
What do you mean? Like, why they don't?
Like, there's no commerce or anything.
I mean, the gang members are in control.
Yeah, I understand that, but in every other gang thing that we've ever seen, the bars were still running, and the general store is still running and stuff like that.
I think the town's still running. It's just not.
The whole bar was closed down. He's like, look, this roulette table that I have, don't use it anymore because all people care about is murdering each other here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
He comes back and he murders everybody.
Yeah.
The day is saved, and we end on like an anticlimactic note. He saves the day, and he's like, "Okay, I'm done here. I'll see you later."
Yeah, it's like,
and he just rides out of town.
I mean, it's a Western. That's how the end. But it's like
he rides out of town while his beat up old friend bartender's like, "Okay, bye. I'm gonna go back to my bar now." While the coffin maker's in the background measuring the bodies.
And isn't the military coming soon too? Like,
the military is like coming through town, but like that's why they didn't want like too much trouble happening.
Yes. Well, how do you explain all this? Like, yeah, some guy.
Well, it doesn't matter now anymore.
I guess
they're all dead.
But the military is going to be suspicious, like all these dead bodies, though, right? Good or bad?
Well, no. The bartender is going to give them back their gold and say, "This is what happened," and everything's handled.
Maybe I'm thinking too much of it, like modern day. Like, I just feel like they're gonna be cool with that. Like,
look, I'm not even pretty sure Texas is a part of the United States at this point.
Oh, it's a small city in Mexico.
Oh, yeah. So it's what's the military gonna do?
True, I guess. True. Yeah, but yeah.
And that was A Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, simple story.
No, it's classic simple story.
Thank you, Japanese guy teacher.
Akira Kurosawa.
Yes, thank you, Akira Kurosawa. Another classic literature that's been stolen to death.
Again, sure, all of his stuff is stolen stuff, but what's his stuff based off of?
No one asked, TJ.
Exactly. He probably got his stuff from literature and stuff like that too. So it's like, you can say he stole it, but he's probably stolen it from somewhere because there's no original stories. All the stories have been told at some core level.
Listen, TJ, how'd you feel about the movie?
Everyone's influenced by everything.
No, very true. How'd you feel about the movie?
I like the movie.
Yeah, it's very well.
I was enthralled for the most part, except for the part where it explains.
And even then, like those questionable bad, quote unquote, bad parts, are not like atrocious or anything. Maybe because the movie's so short, it's like, you don't have time to like really like care about that kind of shit. But beautifully shot. Love the soundtrack in this movie. Except that there's that annoying little kid in it. Like,
oh yeah, I hated that kid. Every time he was on screen, I was like, oh my god, he's the most annoying thing
he's
in the
just
world.
Crying and whining like, "Mama!" It's like, shut up, kid.
Like,
I will
seriously,
give you to the gang members. Right
and he's old enough to know that there's danger around and shit. And it's like, just shoot the stupid kid. I don't give a crap.
It's like one of those kids in a video game where you can't shoot, but they're just so annoying. It's like, oh my god.
Oh my god, just die.
Get away from me. Yeah. So yeah, Fistful of Dollars, everybody. What would you give this movie? Like, ready? What would you rate this movie?
You go first.
Oh, damn it, TJ. You always make me go first so you can adjust.
No, I went first last time.
Did you?
Yeah, because I gave Days of Future Past a 7.
Oh, you're right.
And then you gave it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, fair. Whatever. Fair. I think this is hard. I'm not trying to go at a 2023 short attention span matter. This movie. What do I give this movie? Oh, I give it an 8. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. It's a very
that's
solid.
Where I was at.
Yeah, right. It's a solid movie. Like, there's not much to complain about.
Yeah, that's where I was at. I mean, the few problems I have wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I was at an 8.
Exactly.
So yeah,
and especially for the time, like, this is a great. If I saw this in 1964, 67. I would have been in the theater every day. Like, come on, guys, I gotta show you this movie. I would have been that guy, just super obnoxious about it.
Well, that's how this movie got. Got popular through grassroots of it all.
Exactly. Oh man, can't do that, guys. I wonder how many movies nowadays are being like just content's being made. It's like could be this level of goodness, but just is getting drowned out by all the other content.
I don't know. There's no originality left in movies, honestly.
Yeah, but I think it's all about how you execute things. Like, yeah, something doesn't have to be the most original, but as long as like executed visually and like just storytelling wise, fine. It can still be well received.
I didn't say it couldn't be well received. Superhero movies are always most of them are usually well received. So
I'm saying those are the big things. I'm saying like the smaller movies that are produced, comedy fall to the wayside and just will never see like the praise they should be seeing.
I don't know.
That's what I'm curious about. We're never gonna know, obviously, but
I mean, I just everyone's so focused on the next trend or the next, thing. No one just takes a story and lets it play it out.
Well, it's Hollywood in general. Hollywood's always been like that.
Yeah,
I
but
also
like,
thought at the same time, I think they do let stories play it out. Like they'll pick a story up and like they'll bleed the shit out of it for a TV show or something, where it could have been a movie. Like this doesn't have to be 8 hours. It could have been 2 hours, hour and a
yeah,
half.
but then how much of it has been changed? How much of it has been studio interfered with? How much of it was cut? You know what I
That's
mean?
everything, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's even since like day one of making a movie, though.
Not necessarily.
From your mind to the screenplay to the video
like
to
obviously,
the
but
video
like
to the editing room to the final product.
sure,
With all the notes and changes, everything has seen so many things.
I'm not talking about the editing process. Like the editing process is from the creator's point of view. I'm just talking about how much of it from who's ever like given a finished script, how much of that is that script taken apart? You know what I mean? And how many movies are being made with a script not even done?
That I think the first part of a script being changed constantly, it's always going to happen. And then not being done, it happens occasionally.
We've done a couple of these reviews where they were just filming these movies without a script being done. Yeah. You should not be telling a story if you don't know how it's going to end.
I 100% agree, but it happens. I think it happens less now. But
I'm a writer, so like the most common thing I tell people is you don't have to have everything planned out. You don't even have to have most things planned out, but you should at least know where you're starting, where you're going, and where you're ending. Yes. And everything in between you can just make up as you go.
I can agree with that.
And I just never see that. Like a lot of the times there's not a well constructed movie from beginning to end. It's always all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think if we start I don't feel that. I think when we start reviewing things like the way we do and just start nitpicking things and tearing things apart, then yeah, everything's gonna fall apart on itself. But I think when you first watch a movie, you can get the experience of an hour and a half, 2 hour movie. It should be able to usually hold up well enough.
And I'm not saying that they're all bad movies because of that. I'm just saying it's just like we don't ever see a movie just from beginning to end as it's intended to be. Because
I don't think we ever have though. That's my thing.
I don't think that's true.
It's just I agree with you. I do believe if I had a script right now, I would just send it into Hollywood. They're gonna send it back with a lot of notes change this, change that, change this, change that, because audiences won't like this. We're trying to get the audiences, or we want to and I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. But I also think that's always been not always, as maybe not as severe as it is now, but it's always been a thing for sure. I had a script.
Not necessarily, because how did they know what an audience wanted at those times and periods and things?
It's always been studios with their studios ideas. Okay, this one worked. Try to kind of merit the same thing. I read your script. I've had someone read your script. Did they care about this character?
You're saying never in movies that's never happened. Well, when movies first started, it had to have happened.
I'm saying once the studios became a thing, which is now been forever.
Yeah, well, maybe we shouldn't have studios. How about that?
I mean, you can always try to be independent and do your thing. I'm not saying I'm pro studio. I'm just saying as long as we've been alive, we've never seen a proper what you want to see. As long as we've been alive, and because what movies we consumed, I don't think we've ever seen a movie as much as the original director / writer has intended. Whoever wrote that screenplay has intended it since the first draft to be this way. I don't think we've ever seen that.
I think we have.
Like what? What? I know damn well it hasn't been Star Wars.
Maybe not. We have never seen, because I don't watch movies, but I'm sure there has been a movie.
I don't think so. I mean, a movie in a sense that's made it to Hollywood, or an independent film.
How about something? I'm sure Clerks or something like that is from beginning to end.
Okay, I'll give you probably Clerks. Once Kevin Smith. Okay, here's my story. I'm gonna make this. He did it himself. He did it himself. He didn't have to go through the studios. So yeah.
I'm just saying that's what I'm talking about. There's not many. There's a lot of even with Captain America, Winter Soldier, we loved that movie.
Yeah.
But that movie was all over the place.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. It's just there's very few movies these days that are from beginning to end, where they're going. They can be tightened up. They can be, you know what I mean?
I can agree. Well, no, it's like Mad Max Fury Road. Simple movie. Point A to point B. Back to point A. Simple.
Never saw it.
good movie, studio movie. He had a hard time getting it made because of issues, but like, it's like, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. Just drive the cars to here, and then back to there. Simple.
Well, you're just proving my point.
What? That those movies don't exist, or that they exist, or like, what do you mean?
That they do exist.
No, but it was through the studio too. So it's like the studio has definitely put their notes in. Probably he's had to re-edit that movie probably multiple times. A draft. So it's like,
I'm not saying they can't make good movies. That was never my thing. But there, you can always see the mess in there. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think the mess is that bad in most movies.
No, and I'm not saying it is. I don't even remember what the original point was.
Neither do I. I don't know how we got. I don't know how you got on this.
I don't even remember. But honestly,
well, I do. I will always. I think I could argue that most movies. I can't say most. I say a lot of movies, not the big ones that usually are like Oscar worthy, but like, you know, let's say 100 movies are made a year and are released in the theaters. I think at least 40 to 50% of those 100 movies are like highly made.
Okay.
So,
I don't remember what my point was in the beginning, so I can't even argue.
I don't know how you got on this. You were talking about being a writer.
I don't remember. I don't remember what I was arguing, but so it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, that's well. Yeah. I think we're done.
I think we reached the end of this podcast. I think we were done like 20 minutes ago, but
I think so.